Manka is visiting Alan. A magical session. You hear a slow and pleasant voice. Your body is slowing down, as if everything moves in slow motion. With every word, which you hear, and with each sound that I utter, you feel more and more relaxed and calm. They threw all thoughts out of their heads. They closed their eyes. With every word you hear, and with each sound I utter, you feel more and more relaxed and calm. Minute by minute your mind becomes as clear as the surface of a quiet and peaceful mountain lake. While yours is being cleaned mind, you imagine that you will relax more deeply. You imagine Alan, a lonely young man with broad shoulders and pumped up muscles, was thinking about what to do. Manka decided to visit a friend from childhood for a moment to ask about studies. Slender girl. Long brown hair with light curls that went down a thin back. A knee-length dress that hugged the attractive, elastic ass of the seductress. The eye cannot be taken away from beauty. Went in my own car. Drove up to Alan's luxurious, beautifully decorated house. Knocked on the door. Alan immediately opened it and was at the door. Manka came in and said hello. Alan immediately appreciated such a beautiful friend from childhood, invited her to come into the room and sit on the sofa. Offered to have dinner together. Manka, with a good soul and her good looks, agreed. Because yesterday my girlfriend celebrated her birthday. I lost my appetite. I haven't eaten anything since morning. Drank a little more alcohol. Manka was critical of alcohol, so she often refused loud parties. But a coincidence. Both of them had a little headache. Mother did not give up suggestions. She herself also hasn't had breakfast yet. Delicious caviar and a magical drink offered by Alan raised the spirits of the girls. Before half an hour ago, I didn't want to eat or drink. And in addition, my head hurt. After having lunch at Manka's, everything went well. I wanted something even bigger than usual. You hear a voice that will accompany you. Be calm. If any extraneous thoughts come into your head, turn your attention to my voice. Now I'm starting to count to 10. And with each number that I pronounce, you will relax and go deeper and deeper into relaxation. You begin to imagine. 1. And now the girl is lying on the sofa. She did not understand when she found herself in only panties without any persuasion. Guessed so he must be a wizard. Alan began his work, professionally stroking and massaging every muscle. Strong hands slid over the smooth skin of the decoy. His fingers so habitually lingered in the most intimate places, inflaming and exciting the girl. She responded to his caresses instantly. She felt her breasts filling up. It becomes accepted and comfortable. Heat spread over the body. Manka thought that this man could stir up her body like that. Or some other girls. I didn't want to think about anything. And even more so about the girls whom Alan pleases yesterday and maybe periodically. I closed my eyes, listened to the music, which was imperceptible when Alan turned it on. deeply inhaling the aroma that came from Alan. Voice speaks. When you concentrate all your attention on my voice, it is very good. Listen to my voice and feel relax. Feel your breathing deep and calm. Breathe in your own rhythm as it is convenient and comfortable for you. That's when you will feel the breath. Breathe from the bottom of the belly. Make pleasant a deep breath and a pleasant deep exhalation. 2. Alan patted his shoulders, going down on his hands. Massaged each hand separately, going through even the fingers. Was very nice. Strokes the back again, kneads the back a little. Pressing and rubbing. Manka could not understand what was happening. Rather, she was really looking forward to this. But it was so embarrassing to admit to myself. The girl turns over on her back. Alan continues massaging. Alan's hands are as tender as a woman's. Do their work. But again, as if carelessly touching the nipples hardened by desire, he squeezes his chest, to the loud size of the decoy. The voice speaks. You listen and concentrate only on my voice. Enter a state of relaxation of soul and body. You feel the relaxation of the whole body and soul. Consciousness and memory seem to leave you, and your subconscious and sleep begin to connect. You feel that you are falling asleep, but you clearly hear my voice. The state of drowsiness is increasingly covering your body. A state of calmness, rest, and relaxation more and more embraces you. All sounds float into the distance, become quieter. You enter a trance deeper and deeper. You already understand that you are sleeping. Your body has become heavy, lazy, sleepy, and will remain so until the end of the session. Only the subconscious will work in this state. Sleep, and from this moment you will enter a deep state of hypnosis. A state of deep peace and relaxation. Please note that you feel very well, breathe easily and freely. 3. And Alan was again covered by a wave of desire. He saw panties through which the girl's crotch was visible. His fingers again reached for the most secret. He tried to restrain himself, not to touch the source of his sin. Went down his legs, but even those little toes on her feet turned him on. Massaging the legs, hips, touching the swollen labia. And that's it. Manka herself spreads her legs wider. Fingers slide over the sensitive petals of the clitoris, rubbing it in a circle. How gentle you are! Insanely gentle and so sensitive, girl, whispered Alan. The voice says. Notice that the hands have become so heavy that you can't even lift them. Your body is pleasantly heavy, your eyes are closed, your lids are downcast. Even if you want to make a movement, your body will not listen to you. And you want to stay like this as long as possible, go deeper and deeper into the state of hypnosis. Now you feel comfortable and relaxed. 4. Manka shuddered from the tension. Chest swaying, nipples are already strained. Legs spread a little wider than usual, opening a view of the genitals that shine through the panties. They are already a little swollen. again gliding over the body of Alan's hands. Exciting the chest, it is like a caress. Alana is already shaking, the penis is floating with lubricant, the massage has turned into caresses. The neighbor could not stand it, squeezed both breasts, connecting them together, drawing in one nipple one at a time with your lips. Then the other nipple, rolling it in your mouth, biting and licking. A quiet moan escaped from Manka. She didn't think that she had such sensitive nipples. The neighbor was teasing her breasts, and she didn't have enough. The voice speaks. You like to make love and feel calm and confident. The desire for sex is natural for every person. This is a natural desire, just like the feeling of hunger. Sexual desire is like hunger. You don't need to taste it. To want, one must do what one wants. Sex is natural. Sexual desire is natural. You know that, if you don't eat for several hours, you get hungrier and hungrier, until your wish is satisfied. The same with your sexual desire. It naturally becomes stronger and stronger, more persistent. Your sexual desire is like hunger, and sexual hunger must be quenched. Even now, if you pay attention to your body, you may feel the desire, which reminds you that it exists, and that sexual desire is healthy and normal. So you allow yourself to feel that it is normal, useful. 5. Tearing away from the nipples, the lips slid higher, on the neck, light kisses replaced the bites. Finally reaching his lips, pulling her by the neck, he kisses her for a long time. The lure disappears. Alan looks. His lips are already swollen and look as if they are begging him. The member of the neighbor is pulsating. He could not restrain himself. He was distracted by everything he could. But it won't last that long. So you want to release the poured barrel and ram into a wet girl. Alan the girl's legs. Places as wide as possible on the sofa. I can't wait any longer. He stood fainting from desire. Manka looked as if bewitched. The penis was trembling. The head was slightly open. He was big, even. Created to bring only pleasure. Desires intensified from such a sight. Alan pulled back the foreskin, revealing a large, oil-glistening head. He slightly squeezed the swollen testicles and, running his clenched palm along the trunk, leaned towards the girl. Voice speaks. You experience pleasure from sex at all levels of your being. When you free yourself from the chains of suppression, your mind, your emotions, and your body will enjoy the pleasure of sex. You let go of any subconscious fears of impotence or frigidity, and choose the pleasure of sexual activity instead. Because you have the right to pleasure, you too reject any ideas that enjoying sex is wrong, sinful or dirty. You are already an adult and you decide what is good for you and what is not bad. You are replacing these old notions about sex for new ideas that lift the mood. 6. Alan whispered. You have no idea, girl, how hungry I am. From the first minute I saw you. As I entered, I inhaled your smell. You became my inspiration. My drug. Alan confidently guided the member into the open pussy, slightly passing along the lips, hooking the clitoris. Entered with a sharp movement and froze, catching Manka's loud moan with a kiss. And she seemed to be covered with absolute bliss. The member was large for an unprepared womb. It hurt, but also unbearably sweet. The girl felt every centimeter of movement of his big member. His head rested on the far wall of the vagina, and Alan froze for some time. Manka could even feel how it was pulsing inside. Everything was so sensitive and sharp. Alan began smooth movements, enjoying what was happening, from such a tight and wet girl, oozing juice. Each time, making a push, he rested his hot head on the uterus, and the testicles hit the elastic ass. He seemed to be bursting with pleasure. Gradually the pace increased, and now the member has already flown almost completely, and filled it completely, stretching the tight bosom under the member. Manka moaned in her voice. Thin fingers with sharp nails scratched Alan's back. She felt not only how he penetrates her, resting on the cervix, but also what a pleasure it was from the pressure on the posterior hole with swollen testicles. Manka, how narrow you are. Alan understood that he could not stand it for long, slowly left Manka, covering her breasts with kisses. Let's rest a little. The voice speaks. You know that consensual adult sex is natural and normal. Sex is fun. You want it to be nice, to last as long as you want. You feel free when you have sex, feel relaxed and confident. You allow yourself to plunge into pleasure, realizing that sex is normal and natural. You like to make love, and this is your opinion. You take your time when you have sex. You can continue to have sex and enjoy your feelings. Sex is not a game, it is a life of body and mind. Your body wakes up when the mind becomes excited. You are happy when you have sex and get sexual pleasure. You get pleasure from giving pleasure. You also allow yourself to enjoy a sexual partner, because it is you nice. Therefore, during intimacy, you give and receive pleasure. 7. The member throbbed even more after rest. Baby, let's try something else. Try to get on your knees. You trust me, everything will be nice and fine. The man entered with one sharp movement, pulling the girl by her hips, pushing harder. Movements became sharper. Penetration is deeper. Manka was on the edge. Alan was stretching her so much, filling her to the brim. Somewhere inside, a taut string of pleasure snapped. My legs were cramping, the walls of the vagina began to contract. My stomach trembled. Manka finished. Feeling how he became even more. Felt its pulsation. These changes were caught by Alan. The girl moaned, writhing in a powerful orgasm, breaking her voice from screaming. Alan begged the girl, "So, finish. Sweet. Yes. Alan breaks into a loud groan himself, spilling powerful thrusts into Manka's unprotected pussy. She continues to contract, releasing all the sperm. Spasms of his powerful orgasm. Pushing hard. Alan freezes, pressing Manka's wet body to him. Lowering his eyes, he looks at the place where their bodies meet. Slowly withdraws his member. Sperm flows out of the girl's vagina in a white stream in spurts. Voice speaks. When you have sex, you feel free. Because at this time, enjoy love. Think about something else during sexual intimacy impossible. You give yourself completely to sexual pleasure. You don't think about the past and you don't think about the present. You will be completely immersed in the pleasure of sex. Sex and making love is like an adventure movie. Sex begins with an excited foreplay. The excitement is getting stronger and stronger. You are fascinated by foreplay, which increases the excitement even more. You take your time so you can enjoy the adventure of enjoyment that unfolds. As sexual arousal develops, feelings become stronger and stronger. You become more and more passionate. You allow your sexual arousal to slowly reach its peak. This is the highest pleasure. From now on, you are relaxed during sex. You let everything take its course without forgetting about your partner in order to satisfy him. 8. Breathing heavily. Manka left her orgasm, and Alan's eggs were buzzing. The girl opened her eyes, looked at him with a hazy look. It was difficult for the man. He stood and moaned with pleasure. Manka understood what was going on with Alano. Without even thinking about what she was doing, she easily wiped the poured member. He was big, trembled. Red head glistened with grease. Voice speaks. And when you take off your clothes and your partner, this action will be like post-hypnotic setting. Together with your clothes you remove your complexes. You feel sexuality filling your mind and awakening your body. You get more and more pleasure from sex. Sex is fun. Sex is the natural state of a person. You want sex. You like to have sex. Sexual feelings have clouded your mind and subconscious. Or maybe, to help yourself during sex, you just need to rely on what you know and trust yourself. You are very determined and confident during sex. You have a strong desire and motivation to enhance your sexual experience. Now you get rid of negative thoughts about sex, or your ability to satisfy your partner. Now you will discover in yourself the ability to make your partner more sexually excited. To do more and better. You will use sex for the benefit of yourself and your partner. Sex is good and necessary. People can use sex in good or bad ways. You trust yourself. Good and right. 9. Manka, Just don't touch it. I will finish now. This is not a request, but as if begging, Alan groaned. But Manka, taking a thick trunk with swollen veins, ran her fingers over the oozing head, opening her mouth, accepted him as deeply as possible. Alan was completely confused by this tiny picture. His cock goes in and out of that sweet mouth, reaching the larynx. The girl's chest sways. Nipples stick out. How sweet. Manka, I can't do it anymore, I'll finish now. Just a few movements were enough. Manka relaxed her throat as much as possible, accepting streams of seed inside. Alan finished with a pulsating stream. As soon as it poured out completely, Manka let go. But the sperm spilled out, flowed down the chin and onto the beautiful breasts of the decoy. The neighbor never had such an orgasm. In the dark eyes, the pulse goes off the scale. Just don't say anything. Please. Voice speaks. By having more sex, you allow yourself to be happy. And make yourself and your partner happy. Wanting more sex to satisfy your needs and your partner's. All this is natural and good. You can have what you want during sex. You deserve to have everything you can imagine during sex. And you can have it without losing anything else. In fact, the more sex you have, the more you can and want. When you spend your energy on sex, you give sex to someone else. And this someone will have more desire for sex. So when you have more sex and get what you want from your partner, you help your partner get what he wants during sex. And this is good. You help yourself and your partner. You want to give yourself and your partner even more pleasure. 10. But it was her desire. Or just the need to satisfy Alan. And find out what it is and what it tastes like. To please him. As he knows how, as he can. In general, Manka was indifferent to the blowjob. She thought it was more out of necessity or prelude. Until further continuation of sex. But she swallowed Alan's member as if possessed. And his moan excited her. And words so that she does not touch. Because he will finish now. All this excited and pushed for events. He was so smooth. Very hard. Alan and Lady continued caressing her breasts and squeezing her nipples. It was so easy and pleasant for her to feel caresses with the tongue. And now a moan breaks out from the mother's chest. Fingers slide over the swollen folds. The neighbor stroked the clitoris in circular motions, bringing the decoy to such a quick orgasm again. Oh 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 oh. Oh 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 oh. Oh 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 oh. Oh 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 oh. How nice and sweet. A sweet spasm of ecstasy swept through the body of the decoy. The voice speaks. Time flies fast, everything good has a beginning and an end. It's time to end the last foreplay. Sex led to the highest point of excitement. And you imagine how the wind brings a table with wonderful drinks and delicious food into the room. There is a large golden bowl on the table. You take a golden cup. and see in the polished gold your and your daughter's royal reflection. Now you and the Manka are drinking from the cup of wealth. And that goodness tastes great. You and Manka feel so good. So happy. Because you have found your treasury of pleasure. All its contents are intended to serve you. You live in a rich sexual universe. You allow yourself to have that pleasure. You accept sexual excitement with joy and gratitude. You are open to doing more to please the decoy. You feel a strong desire to get what you want. You will get what you want. As much as you want. In a decent way. Now you direct your thoughts and tune into. To get pleasure. You let your creative mind guide you. Generate a greater sexual experience. You are determined to succeed in sex. You can trust yourself with your experience. You have had to rely on yourself many times before. Nothing. With the help of your various sensations, it will become even more pleasant for you. More comfortable and calmer. Maybe you will remember your suggestions, and maybe. But the main thing is your feelings. Something may come to mind, to then slowly settle in the brain. Of course, it is already firmly established there. Consciousness of what? You should start deeply. Breathe deeply, and you will again be able to experience the same blissful state in which you are at this moment. You set aside this time just for yourself. And as you train, you will be able to make sure that if the need arises, you every time it will be much easier. Or maybe only easier. To enter a state of trance. As the present natural state. You may discover the ability to enter an even deeper trance at times. In a moment. Not yet, but as soon as you are ready, I will count from 0 to 5. For each digit, you will go up a step. Don't rush, you have a lot of time to spare. Because time is relative, after all. With each number, with each step, you gradually and willingly wake up. And if, on the contrary, you want to fall asleep deeply and peacefully, you can count in reverse order from 5 to 0, going down the same steps into your world of imagination and freedom. To wake up. To wake up. You climb the stairs. One number, one step. On a count. 3. Your eyes are almost ready to pop open. On 4. They can already be opened. On a count. 5. You can wake up full of vigor and fresh strength. Perhaps you will think that you have taken a sweet nap. And now they woke up cheerful and fresh. You feel cheerful and energized. Maybe you will be pleasantly surprised that you feel so good. And now you can take your time to wake up. 0. 1. 2. Awakening is getting closer. 3. Eyes open. 4. 5. Do not sleep. Woke up. Feel great.